Sairam everyone, and welcome back to our political science class. We are going to begin with our revision for our chapter 2, okay, constitutional design. Here again I'm giving you a reminder. This topic, democratic constitution in South Africa, is deleted from syllabus. Okay, this has been informed to you. Again, just a reminder, you're not going to study this topic. Okay, so let us begin with a new topic, and that is, why do we need a constitution? Before that, I'll ask you one question. What is constitution? I'm sure many of you know what is constitution. I'll tell you what it is. A constitution is a set of written rules that are accepted by all the people living together in a country. And who are these people who are living together in a country? They are the citizens of that country, right? So you may be asked question for 1 marks. What is a constitution? Then you can write this. Constitution is a set of written rules that are accepted by all the people living together in a country. Now let's move further. Constitution is the supreme law that determines the relationship among the people living together in a territory. They are called as citizens. I just told to you now. People living together in a country, in a territory, they are the citizens, right, of the country. Constitution also determines the relationship between the people and the government. A constitution is a supreme law of the country, and it cannot be amended so easily. If at all amendments are necessary, a special procedure is adopted. Whereas an ordinary law which the parliament passes, okay, can be changed any time. But it's not easy to change a constitution. Children, a constitution performs several functions. Let us see these functions that a constitution performs. The first function is it generates a degree of trust and coordination that is necessary for different kinds of people to live together. Second function is it specifies how the government will be constituted, who will have the power to take which decision. Next function, let's see. It lays down limits on the power of the government. and tells us what the rights of the citizens are. Let us see the last function performed by the Constitution, and it expresses the aspirations of the people about creating a good society. Children, you may get these questions for 5 marks or maybe for 3 marks. If it is for 3 marks, you got to elaborate a bit on this. You can write about Constitution and then you can write the functions. So don't ignore it. Let us move on to our next topic, and that is making of the Indian Constitution. Children, the making of the Constitution for huge and diverse country like India was a very tough task. At that time, people of India were emerging from the status of subject to that of citizen. What is the meaning of status of subject? It means they were ruled by the kings, and under kings, people of the kingdom were called the subjects as of the kings, right? So now no more kings rule. They're going to have elected government, and these people will be called as citizens and no more subject. Okay, got the difference? Okay, now our country, India, was born through partition. We all know. This partition was on the basis of religion, religious differences, Hindus and the Muslims. This was a traumatic experience for the people of India as well as people of Pakistan. Yes, for both the peoples, people of both the countries. In this partition, there was a lot of violence. In this partition-related violence, at least 10 lakh people were killed on both the sides of the border in India and also in Pakistan. Can you see the image on your monitor? Partition of India and Pakistan, and many people were killed. Now let's move on to our next. Let's continue. The British had left it to the rulers, the kings of the princely state, to decide whether to merge, whether they wanted to merge with India or Pakistan or remain independent. They not merge. If they don't want to merge with India or Pakistan, they can remain independent. So this all was left on the ruler of the princely states. The merger of these princely states was a difficult task. When the constitution was being written, I'm talking about India's constitution. When the constitution was being written, the future of the country did not look very secure. Yes, the makers of the Constitution had considered about the present and also about the future of India. Our leaders, they gained confidence to learn from other countries, but on their own terms. Many of our leaders were inspired by ideas of French Revolution, the practice of parliamentary democracy that was in Britain, and the Bill of Rights in US. Also, the socialist revolution in shaping the system. And where this socialist revolution took place? In Russia. It also inspired many Indians to think of shaping system which would be based on social equality and also economic equality. Now, what is called the Constituent Assembly? The drafting of the document called the Constitution, was done by an assembly of elected representatives. These elected representatives were called Constituent Assembly. Now you're clear? What is Constituent Assembly? Good. The Constituent Assembly that wrote Indian Constitution had 299 members. This was after the partition, India-Pakistan. The Assembly adopted the Constitution on 26th November 1949. But it came into effect on 26th January 1950. And that's the reason we celebrate 26th January as Republic Day every year. Understand why do we celebrate Republic Day? Because on that day our constitution came into effect. But the year was 1950. Now, why should we accept the constitution made by the assembly more than 50 years ago? Big question. So now let's answer this question. Children, the Constitution of India does not reflect the views of its members alone, but it expresses a broad consensus of its time. Many countries of the world have had to rewrite their constitution afresh because the basic values were not accepted by all major social groups or political parties. In some other countries, the constitution exists as a mere piece of paper, you know that? no one actually follows it. The experience of our constitution is different, not like those countries. Over the last half a century, several groups have questioned some provisions of the constitution. But no large social group or political party has ever questioned the legitimacy of the constitution itself. The Constituent Assembly represents, yes, the people of India, you, me, everyone. There was no universal adult franchise that time. So the Constituent Assembly could not have been chosen directly by all the people of India. Yes, but it was elected mainly by the members of the existing provincial legislatures. This ensured a fair geographical share of its members from all the regions of the country. The Constitution Assembly was dominated by Indian National Congress, which was a major political party at the time. This Congress party, also led India's struggle for freedom. But the Congress itself included a variety of political groups and opinions. The Assembly had many members who did not agree with the Congress. In social terms too, the Assembly represented members from different groups, languages, caste, class, following different religions and having different occupation. The manner in which the Constituent Assembly worked gives sanctity to the Constitution. The Assembly worked in a systematic and open and consensual manner. First, some basic principles were decided and agreed upon. And then what did the drafting committee do? This drafting committee, they prepared a draft constitution for discussion. Several rounds of thorough discussions took place on the draft constitution, and clauses by clauses, every clause was discussed. More than 2,000 amendments means changes, were considered. The members deliberated for 114 days. It spread over 3 years. Every document presented and every word spoken in this Constituent Assembly has been recorded and preserved. Even today it is there. These are called Constituent Assembly Debates. These debates provide the rationale behind every provision of the Constitution. Stop over here. Children, but we have not done with our revision of this lesson yet. We have not completed. We'll continue in the next class, next political science class. Till then, take care and study. Bye.